In this session, we will see about queues in service request. What are queues and how we can set up those? How what are the uh, what's the use of queue? So queues are nothing but we can say it's a virtual queue, virtual place where all the service requests will be assigned to a particular queue, and then we will be routed to the actual agent. So, for example, so we have a different region of queues. So for India, there is one queue. So all the queues that are from India, so will be assigned to a group of agents. The US region queues, it will be assigned to the team of US, and in their time shift or a different time shifts maybe. So like this, we can create different queues, and we can categorize, and then we can assign the work to the queue members. So these once queue is created, the service request can be assigned to queue in two ways: manually and automatically. So to the queues, we can assign individual agents, or we can create a groups. So based on their expertise or something, based on their knowledge, their area of expertise. So based on this, we can create groups, and those groups we can add to the queues. So typical life cycle of the queue, right in here. So SR will be created, and it will be assigned to a queue, and queue and from queue. So it will be picked up. It can be picked up by agent manually, or manager can assign a service request from this queue to agent, or auto assignment directly from the queue from the queues. So these are the options we have. So in queue, we have also a concept of default queue. So by default, Oracle provides a queue that is default with the name called default. So so suppose, let's say nothing, if no queue selected, or when, especially when some assignment rules defined. And if no queue is calculated, then the default queue will automatically apply. So this queue cannot be deleted, modified, and renamed. So we should assign at least one resource to default queue if we enable auto assignment. So auto assignment and the assignment rules part will be covered later. So to create, in queue implementation, we do these steps: create queue, add resources to queue. So in adding resources, we have different types. We can add individual resources, teams, and we can add all overflow resources. So, and again, use of these queues, we can use this for work allocation, can be manual assignment or auto assignment. And then, so let's say these are some examples where we can apply queues. We have different locations, and for each location, we can define a queue. We have different languages. For each language, we can differentiate, we can define a queue. And we have different skill sets. So based on the skill sets also, we can define queues, or we can even do a combination of all these uh, matching conditions. Or let's say we have a different shift timings. So for each shift, we can assign the queue. So during the during that shift, so the agents will pick up the SRs from assigned to that particular bucket. Okay, so now we'll go to the environment and we'll see how we can use this particular queues. How we can create and use. So if you go to service tab and you can see object called queues. So this is the object page for queue. We can see different queues here and also a default queue that we just discussed it. So we can't modify this. You can add at least one user so that whenever some auto assignment happens, so it assigns to that queue. So to create a brand new queue, so you can click this button. So in queue creation page, we have activation field that is enabled, and then distribution. So by default, it will select as manual. So if you want to use for auto assignment, so we can choose this automatic. So for now, I'm choosing manual, and overflow criteria. All this are are disabled in creation page, so we can edit those in or so this will apply in automatic only. So if you choose automatic, so you can enable this overflow criteria, and if you enable overflow criteria, so you can choose these options. So we'll discuss on this overflow criteria. What is this overflow criteria when it when while discussing automatic assignment. Now let's create a queue and then I'll set it as manual for now. So if you go to the next tab called resources, so here we can add individual resources. Let's say I'll add some of the searching for C service representative, and I can see some of the service representatives, and I'll be adding to them. I'll be adding here. So, and the next tab is resource teams. So here we can add a group of members. So we can create resource teams here. If no resource team is available, so you can create a new resource team. Maybe I'll say SME team, and you can add resources here again. Ideally, these people will be the uh, the service representatives who are subject matter expert in that particular area. I created a team. be selecting the key. Okay, so I have selected a group as. So basically, in this queue, we have some three individual users and also group of resources. So all are belongs to the same queue. And the next one is overflow queue. So this overflow queue comes, let's say if we enable the auto assignment and and if all agents available in this queue are occupied, so they have reached their capacities. So then system will automatically assign the service request coming to this queue to our overflow queue. Let's say am adding here 18 criteria. Okay? And you can add multiple queues here. And so if all queue capacities, all the individual capacities are full, so it goes to this queue, and whoever is available in the queue, when in the overflow queue, so the new service requests will be assigned to the new or overflow queue. So this is how the queue will be created. Now, to manage queues, again, we can click on this and we can open and edit, modify all that things we can do. So again, we have this show statistics. If you click on this, so it will show the more details like what is the distribution type, how many agents assigned to this queue as of now, how many resources are assigned to this. So if we if we look at this, we have 6 agents assigned. So 3 resources are added and 1 resource team is added. So totally we have 6 agents in this particular queue. And so assigned, waiting, received, abandoned, real-time capacity. So these are all different. So the when a service request assigned to this particular queue, so it will show here how many are in, how many SRs assigned, how many are in waiting period, how many received. So all that statistics we can see from this dashboard. So so this is how, and where exactly we will use this queue is, let's say we created a new service request. Let me go to the Redwood UI. I'm creating a new service request. And I'm clicking on create. So queue can be exposed on creation page itself. If it is a if it's a manual input by agent, right? So we can assign queue on creation page itself. So otherwise, we can go to edit page and we can fill the queue. So here is the queue field, and let's say I assign. So I'm picking up. I'm assigning this queue manually here. So now, so whoever assigned, whoever have added to the uh, whoever is available in the queue team, right? So they will all have full access to manage this SR, and they can use some filters. Uh, so to to filter out the SRs. So other option to update a queue is they can search here up queue, update queue, and they can select the queue. So queue can be edited from edit page or also this action bar. So this is not only for a queue, for any field. So by default, we can, if we expose in the edit layout, so we can edit from the page or from this smart action. So how this queues can will be helpful to resolve SRs, right? So or to manage or to filter out the SRs. Let's say if you have there are some out of the box saved searches. For example, open service request where I am team. So this is if they are in service request team. Similarly, we have open service request not assigned to a queue. So this will give the list of open SRs where queue is not assigned. So a manager can go and add a queue for this open service requests or unassigned unassigned service requests. So let's say for some SR service request, it is not assigned to anyone, but it is assigned to a queue, and in that queue, I am a member. So this will give those list of service requests. So I can go and pick some of the SRs and I can assign it to myself so that I can work on those SRs and close the SRs. So this is how the queues will be helpful in resolving the SRs and categorization and even for work assignments, the queues will be useful.